it's just been a journey. This year I launched my third album. It's called Stand and Be Counted. So it has really taken off phenomenally. I mean, from the album launch to all the accolades, even right now, it's just been a blessing. I launched it on March the 29th.
And it's already on the it's on the Billboard Chart.
Yes, at number 9. No, this is the reggae albums chart, top reggae albums chart. Well, I'm 27 years old. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. I released probably my first song in 2006, a song called Trust in Jesus. Just, trying some fusion stuff in terms of reggae and gospel. And, the song that really took it was the second release, which was Never Let Go. And Never Let Go skyrocketed. I remember that song probably played on every street corner, in every club, in every church, every second, and every radio station. And I was like, wow, what is happening, Because I didn't grow up singing or grow up in that whole musical feel or environment. But, when something is just gripping your heart, just like, oh God, this song was just on my heart to always be.
So you wrote the song?
Yes, top to bottom. I wrote the song and the music.
Say a little piece.
Said I'll never let go, because I try to give me the strength to stand up. Jah will never let me down. He's the driver of my vehicle. This was in 2007.
Right.
This was actually the year that my mom died from cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were living in Tobago at the time? You
Yeah,
still
well,
in Tobago?
I was living in Tobago up until 2005. But I came down to Trinidad in summer 2006 to start university. So I had just, finished my first year in university. That was when my mom had passed. Yeah, she had cancer. She had it in 2003, but she was able to overcome it. So, but 4 years later, cancer is just a dangerous thing, So.
And you have other brothers and sisters?
No, I had one sister where she died in 2003.
And father?
Well, my father lives in the States.
So you're on your own?
Yeah, more or less. Well, I'm not on my own. I got married, so.
You have your own family now?
Yeah.
Any kids?
No kids as yet. But hopefully soon. It was, but I think that is where, music really started for me. It was a personal experience, and because my music really encouraged people to don't give up, in the midst of all that you may be facing. My mom was my financial support. I wasn't working anywhere, just started university.
You were what, 19, 20?
Yeah, about 19, 20. Yeah, and despite all of that, I was still able to graduate with my bachelor's and with honors in computing. So, it's just the favor
Friends
of
and
God.
family?
Yeah,
Came
together and supported me. Well, obviously I would miss my relatives, my mom and my sister, Luan. But it's been a joy even to be married, to have the opportunity to start my own family. And, music is doing well. And I love my dad, and I just try to take care of him because he recently suffered a stroke, so it has been a little rough on him not being able to work. But God was able to bless me with music, and so it can now bring in an income I could able to support. I'm able now to support him in a little bit way, My dad and mom were pastors, so I'm a pastor's kid. Yeah, so.
How was childhood for you?
It was cool, because I didn't get the brunt of the pastor's kid syndrome because my dad kind of pastored a church, but it was before I was born, So he moved to the States when I was like 2 years old, trying to take us as a family over there, but things got a little complicated, so I didn't get the pastor's kid syndrome, but
The pastor's kid syndrome.
like everybody always expect you to you have high expectations of you, especially in the church and that kind of thing. But
So you didn't have that pressure.
I didn't have that pressure, so I was just able to just really enjoy being a boy, being a Christian. I loved music. We always beatboxing and making little closet recordings. That time we had a little SM58 mic. We go with the cord, and when we found a way to plug it into a computer, I mean, that was it. It's like, yo. Yeah. So it was nice. Yeah, I think my philosophy is that nobody's gonna hand me success. I think the day that success comes at my door is the day that I decide to believe in myself. And that once I started investing in myself, in my own talents, in my own giftings, in what God has placed in my heart, I just began to see a change, rather than looking for people or waiting for people to believe in me, I always am reminded by the guy in the Bible that the Lord gave 1 talent and he hid it. And the guy who got 10 talents came back with 10 more, who got 5 talents came back with 5 more. But the guy with 1 talent, he hid it. And I always felt like, wow, why did he hide that talent? Because somehow it's like if having 10 talents could have been likened unto having 10 Almeras or whatever. But the man with the 1 talent, he probably had a Range Rover, and because he heard it's only one, he probably hid it just because he didn't even know the worth of it, So I mirror that in my life, Sometimes I always say, why didn't I have a singer's voice? Why didn't I have a Peter Morgan sweetness, richness? Why didn't I song like Luther Vandross, Why didn't I have that style, that Brian McKnight finish? These guys are so phenomenal, But with the little that I had, with the little talent and the little gifts that I had, I just sat back and I didn't hide it. I put it to good use. And now in that short space of time, God has just pushed me right to the top in every atmosphere, in every area. I go over to the Caribbean, my album is doing well. I mean, all my albums more or less broke into the top 25 on iTunes reggae albums chart. I mean, this is in a group with Barry Salmon and Bob Marley and and Taurus Riley and all the greats, you would say, of reggae, and it's just simply because I chose to believe in myself, and whatever, as small as it is, I was faithful in it. Because if you're not faithful in a little, how can you expect to be faithful in plenty? I would say that Joel is a family man, and Positive is a faithful servant. One of the best times was actually meeting my wife and getting married to her, and she walked down the aisle on our wedding day on August the 1st, 2014. Yeah, recently. It was just a satisfying experience to say, yes, it's finally happening,
You have your partner.
I have my partner, my lifetime partner. She was good friends with my background vocalist, so I was able to meet her, and so that was like 3 years we courted, and then I had an album, an all-inclusive in Diego Martin, and as soon as I have this song called Mama You're Beautiful, so I sang some Mama You're Beautiful, and we gave away a couple hampers and stuff to some of the mothers in the audience, and then as soon as she's there giving away the hampers, and then as soon as she's finished now, I was like, Annalise, we've been together for a while now, and then the band started to play, and she...
That's how you proposed?
Yeah, that's how I proposed. Yeah. So I told her, we've been together for 2.5 years now, and I want to make it a lifetime. Everybody starts to scream. Good times. That is good memories. Definitely some of the worst times would have been, those phone calls that come to say, wow, your dad just had a stroke. Next morning you have to fly up to New York to go to White Plains Hospital. Um, and to get a call saying that your sister died. I mean, those are not nice calls. But there was a bittersweet moment in the midst of all the tragedy when my mom, she, that I think it was a Friday morning, she ate, and I remember she ate bacon fish, and she just the day just felt as if something was wrong. And she went in the room and she laid down in the bed, and it's like she just was not herself. And that's when you saw her eyes started to go up in the top of her head, and it's like, we calling out to her. Her name was Yulda. So my aunt is calling her, Yulda, 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 Yulda. So she answers, yes, Mulda, yes, Joel, thing. And then we keep calling. And then her response was, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord. And that was her last words. So it's like, although it was a sad time, and there's no words to describe how you would feel when you lose your mom, but it was like some kind of peace or some kind of comfort to know that, wow, she had an encounter with the Maker, and that is where she is, because she stopped hearing our voices and she heard God's voice calling her home. So that, I think, is a sad, but it was a beautiful time to experience that. The biggest breakthrough, well, definitely my first song, Never Let Go. First international song. I mean, that took me to various countries. I went all up the islands. I remember I was opening for Buju. I was opening for Barris Hammond. It's like,
From your first song?
from my first big song, and people, we would say, well, we are a gospel group or a gospel band and that kind of thing, and it's like, yeah, well, just come and sing your gospel on our stage, and people want to hear the gospel, man. That's how promoters call. I was like, yeah, man, we love the gospel, we love God, people want to hear the gospel, so we don't want to put any restrictions on you, and that's how people are speaking, so it was just like, I never once had to act as if I'm a Rastafarian, for the sake of making it or whatever. I was always a Christian, up till today. People just have a kind of respect for a gospel reggae artists like myself. I remember when maybe this was last year, when Marshall called and he wanted me to come on this Sealots project with him. Yeah. So my song was Preserve the Youths. So it was just no restrictions, just whatever I want to write about, whatever I want to sing about. And it's just a kind of respect. I think people respect you when you're faithful.
Honest.
Yeah, in your craft and in what you believe in. So people respect you when you're honest and faithful in your craft and your giftings and even your religion. Don't come one day and say that you're a Christian artist, and the next day you come and it's like you're a Rastafarian. I mean, you're not even true to yourself. If this is who you are, be the best at it. the biggest lesson I've learned is don't take what God has given you for granted. One day of favor with God is worth more than 1,000 years of favor with men and mere mortals. He's the all-seeing. If he knows the beginning from the end, then whatever he has placed in me, I am confident that it is worth more than anything I could see with my physical eyes. I mean, I've only been around in the world for just 27 years, but
Just the beginning.
yeah. But I mean, I love to travel, so life has been great. I was able to go to the outdoors and just see the world. I've been to the UK a couple times. I've been to the States. I've been to the Caribbean, all the way up to Jamaica, come right back down to Barbados, going up to Bermuda. Everybody always has this superstition of the Bermuda Triangle. Went over to Costa Rica to see so much people. The only English that they know is my music. You go to Panama, and so doors have been opening up. This year, we want to just push the envelope a little more, and because we went to Aruba. We are supposed to go back to Aruba in July the 3rd. Yeah, but this year we want to expand. I have a song on my new album called All Over the World, so we want to try to do a worldwide tour. I love to travel. One regret would be, there were sometimes when me and my mom would be at it quarreling, and it's like, I just wish that just took up time that we could have spent, enjoying each other, enjoying our time here in this earth. And I believe if there's any regret, I would say for the time when I didn't know how to constantly appreciate the people around me. So now, I realize more than ever that life is short. As much years as the world has been spinning, we don't spend all the years with it. We come and go very quickly in the blink of an eye. And for the time that we are here, is just to appreciate those who are around us, because when you die and you go, the world continues to spin, but is what you have invested in people and not things that will last. You invest in people. I like to invest in people, so even if I have, let's say, 4 sons, I want to invest in them. Each person, we'll all go to school and do well, but I would invest in and show you, okay, this is what I did to reach where I'm at now, so whatever is your passion, I want to invest in that, and that just shows the quality of a leader. I think I heard Dr. Miles Monroe said that if your legacy does not live on when you die, you are somewhat of a failure. I find it was harsh at first, but I guess it's because, look at the great leaders, they all paid a price, and we are still mentioning them today in our conversations. I can't remember the last time a entire month passed and I didn't hear the name Bob Marley. He's everywhere. He's in movies. People who never knew him, who never really heard his story, they are singing his music. His songs brought so many people, and not just black people, white people, worldwide, Indians, Chinese, everyone just fell in love with this man and this music of reggae, and maybe that's why I identify with it. I believe that it is one of the genres that is just universal. It could play in Japan, they love it. It could play in the US, they love it. It's part of our Caribbean culture, they love it. And it's so easy to insert messages that people could understand. I mean, whether you're saying it like a Jamaican, or you're saying it like a Trini, or you're saying it like a Tobagonian, I mean, it's just a genre of music that just appeals to the soul, you know. So all the greats, all the greats, you know, even um, Martin Luther King, you know, they have holidays after these people, you know, because they invested in people. It's not that he just took his time and sought out material things, but he invested in people. Everybody, when you hear Martin Luther King, one of the first things you say is, I had a dream. I used to be afraid of dying, but I don't know, it's just a natural part of life. I guess what I would be most afraid of is to suffer a physical illness where I can't provide for my family. So, to curb that, you know, you try to stretch your hands into different business opportunities that doesn't even require you to be there. You know, it just functions on its own. I really not sure what success is to everyone. Um, but yeah, albums do well. You know, we have bookings all over the world. We have shows almost every weekend. The album is hitting the top 10 Billboard Chart. Everybody is screaming when you go on stage. You know, people love you. They support you 100%. You know, your shows are sold out. Nobody could find tickets to buy in the stores. They have to come and line up outside to come in, you know. But I wonder if that is success. I think the most successful thing is after the camera is turned off and you go home and you are with the people that you love and you're able to spend that time and enjoy and able to provide and able to love and be loved. You know, I think that aside from all the material success, I think that is something worthwhile. Family. If I wasn't doing music, I would have probably been a fisherman in Tobago on the beach, because we grew up around the beach and just fishing, catching chub, barracuda. Yeah, so that was just the country boy life. If I was in this, I'd like to be in fishing or swimming or some kind of water activity. OMG moment. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think that after 7 years, God will take me to the biggest stages of the world to sing the music that I love to sing.